Good morning students. On behalf of Sure EduCorp, I welcome you to the another video of plant anatomy and plant physiology. This will be your part 2 video of plant anatomy and plant physiology. We are going to see the continuation of part 1 in this video. In the last video, that is part 1 of your plant anatomy, we have studied different types of tissue system, namely dermal tissue system, ground tissue system and vascular tissue system. Now let's tabulate the functions of these three types of tissue system. Dermal tissue system, as we all know, it consists of epidermis. It also consists of periderm. Periderm means a layer which is around your epidermis. It is present only in older stems and roots. So the important functions of epidermal tissue system is protection. As it is the outer layer, it protects the inner tissues, and then it prevents water loss from the roots. Next is ground tissue system. Ground tissue system has three important types of tissues, namely parenchyma tissue, collenchyma tissue and sclerenchyma tissues. The important function of ground tissue system is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is synthesizing their own food with the help of sunlight. So this ground tissue system is responsible in synthesizing food, and it also stores the food that is generated. And regeneration is nothing but the generation of other parts of plant like leaves, buds, stems, branches, etc. Then it also supports the tissues, inner tissues, and protects the inner tissues. Next, vascular tissue system. Vascular tissue system, as we have seen, we have two different types of tissues, xylem tissue and phloem tissue. Their functions also we would have seen. Xylem transports water and minerals to different parts of the plant, and phloem transports food to different parts of the plant. These are the functions of different types of tissue system. Now we are going to see the internal structure of dicot and monocot, root, stem and leaf. Generally, plants are classified into monocotyledonous and dicotyledonous plants depending upon their differences in stem, root, leaf, etc. We are not going into detailed differences between dicotyledonous and monocotyledonous plants because that is not covered in your syllabus. To have a general idea of what is dicot and monocot, di means two. Like if you take bean, chickpeas, urad dal, tur dal, etc., the pulses, you can easily divide it into two equal halves. So that is your dicotyledon. But if you take rice or corn, you have only a single cotyledon, that is you cannot break it into two equal halves. So that is your monocotyledon. Mono means single. So it has only single cotyledon. To have an understanding about dicotyledon and monocotyledon, I have explained you this. Now let us begin with the transverse section of dicot root. Transverse section means if you cut the root, dicot root across and see it under the microscope, you will see this structure. Let's go one by one. First one is the grey portion, the outer layer where this root hair is present, that is called piliferous layer. Piliferous layer is nothing but your epidermis. We have seen in your dermal tissue system, no? That is the first layer. The outer layer is your epidermis. But here in root, we are going to call it as epiblerma. It is also called piliferous layer or rhizodermis. It is the outer layer. As you can see, stomata are not present. If stomata is present, then it will be green color. But we all know root, doesn't carry stomata, it is not in green color. So stomata and cuticle are completely absent. Only unicellular root hairs are present. Next to epidermis, you have a portion called cortex. The portion which is present in blue color, that is your cortex. As you can see, this cortex is multi-layered. Multi-layered means it has many layers and it is a large zone. It consists of parenchymaceous cells which are thin-walled with intercellular spaces. As you can see, you have a lot of intercellular spaces in this cortex, and it stores starch grains and water. So next to cortex, you have this endodermis, which is light pink in color. So endodermis is the inner layer of cortex. The cells are barrel shaped and closely arranged without any intercellular spaces. You have something called Casparian strip in this endodermis. Those are located, they are band-like thickenings. They are located on their radial and inner tangential walls. I have mentioned it with light green color. So those are the spaces where these Casparian strips will be present. This allows the movement of dissolved salts from cortex to xylem. Next, we have stele. All tissues which are present inner to endodermis is called your stele. It has your pericycle, vascular bundles. Pericycle is a layer which is present next to endodermis. It is little dark pink in color. So it is a single layer which is present inner to endodermis. This is the portion from where lateral roots arise. Lateral roots are nothing but, you would have seen in the plant, there will be one main root and then certain side roots will come. The side roots are called lateral roots. And then we have vascular bundles. Vascular bundles, you have xylem and phloem. As you can see here, vascular bundle is radial in arrangement. Xylem and phloem are arranged in different radii alternating to each other. And your xylem is exarch and tetrarch. Tetrarch means four. Only 4 layers of xylem is present. And then exarch is, as we have seen, metaxylem will be present in the center and protoxylem will be present towards the periphery. So this is the arrangement of vascular bundles. You have something called conjunctive tissue in this. Conjunctive tissue is nothing but the tissues that are present between xylem and phloem, and in dicot root it is made up of parenchyma cells. So this is the transverse section of dicot root. Next we are going to see the transverse section of monocot root. This is the transverse section of monocot root. The same like how we have seen in dicot root, the same way we are going to see one by one the layers of monocot root. The first layer is epiblemma or piliferous layer, the grey color layer, that one. Here also stomata and cuticle are absent, only root hairs are present. This layer is protective in function. Next to piliferous layer we have a layer called cortex. As we have seen in the dicot root, the same cortex will be present. It is multi-layered, large zone made up of thin-walled parenchymaceous cells with intercellular spaces. Next to cortex you have this endodermis, which is light pink in color. Inner to cortex there is a layer called endodermis. The endodermis has Casparian strips. The Casparian strips are made up of suberin, something called suberin. And then you have this inner to endodermis, all the tissues present are called stele. Here stele consists of pericycle, vascular bundles and pith. Now we are going to see pericycle. Pericycle is single layer of parenchyma cells which is present inner to endodermis. This is the portion where lateral roots arise. And then we have vascular bundles. Vascular bundles, here the vascular bundle is radial again. Xylem and phloem are arranged alternating to each other. So radial, and then exarch and polyarch. Polyarch means many arrangements of xylem you can see. Poly means many, so many arrangements of xylem will be present. And then phloem will be present alternating to each other. Same way exarch. Exarch means metaxylem will be present towards the center and protoxylem will be present towards the periphery. The central portion is known as pith. Here pith will be present, but whereas in dicot root pith will be absent. Only in older roots pith will be present, but here in monocot root pith will be present. The central portion of parenchyma cells is known as pith. It contains large amount of starch grains and it stores food. So this is your structure of monocot root. So we have seen the structure of dicot root and monocot root. Now we are going to tabulate the differences between dicot root and monocot root. First one is number of xylems. Dicot root, it is tetrarch. Monocot root, it is polyarch. Next one is cambium. Dicot root, cambium is present but only in the secondary growth. Monocot root, cambium is not present. Secondary growth is present in dicot root but absent in monocot root. Pith is absent in dicot root and is present in monocot root. So this is your differences between dicot and monocot root. Next we are going to see the enlarged section of dicot and monocot stems. Now first we'll see the transverse section of dicot stem. As you can see, the first layer, that is the epidermis layer, is green in color. The dark green color is there, no? That is your epidermis. It is made up of single layer of parenchyma cells and cuticle is present. As you can see, no, the little brown colored layer on top of epidermis is your cuticle, and then your root hairs or epidermal hairs are present. Stomata are less in number. Then next portion will be your cortex. Here cortex is divided into three regions. First one is hypodermis. Hypodermis, you have 3 to 6 layers of collenchyma cells. The portion which is mentioned in your diagram, just refer to the diagram, collenchyma. These are collenchyma cells. It gives mechanical support to the plant. Next is your middle cortex. Middle cortex is contains few layers of chlorenchyma cells, which is your green colored layer, that is your chlorenchyma cells. It contains chloroplasts and it takes part in photosynthesis. So this is very important. Chlorenchyma cells contains chloroplasts and it takes part in photosynthesis. Next layer is your we have seen that cortex is divided into three regions. First one is hypodermis, second one is middle cortex, next one is inner cortex. Inner cortex, you have few layers of parenchyma cells arranged with intercellular spaces. Now next to your cortex comes endodermis. Endodermis is your pink layer, that is your endodermis. As you can see, endodermis is a single layer of barrel shaped cells which are closely arranged and it contains starch sheath. So this is your endodermis. Next we have stele. Steel, all inner tissues to endodermis constitute your stele, and it consists of vascular bundles, pericycle and pith. Here, next to endodermis, you have pericycle. Pericycle is present between endodermis and vascular bundles. You have this layer, black color layer with light purple color layer, that is your pericycle. Pericycle is made up of parenchyma cells alternated with sclerenchyma cells. That is why you have this hexagonal type of cells. And then next to your pericycle, we have this vascular bundles. Vascular bundles are arranged in the form of a ring in dicot stem. As you can see, vascular bundles here are conjoint, collateral, cambium is present, so it is open, and then it is endarch. In endarch, protoxylums will be present towards the center, and metaxylum will be present towards the periphery, that is in the end. So you have in vascular bundles of dicot stem, it is conjoint, collateral, open and endarch. Phloem is present towards the periphery, and xylem is present towards the center. That is why it is called conjoint bundle, and that is why it's called collateral bundle, and it is located on the same radius. That is why it is called conjoint bundles. Next to vascular bundles, you have pith. The large central portion is known as pith. So pith is present in dicot stem. It stores food. So this is the transverse section of dicot root. Next we'll see transverse section of monocot root. Monocot root, the same first layer is your outer layer, dark green layer, that is your epidermis. It is made up of single layer of parenchyma cells. As you can see here, multicellular hairs, that is root hairs, are absent, but cuticle are present. Stomata would be less in number. Next one is your hypodermis. Here hypodermis is made up of few layers of sclerenchyma cells alternated with chlorenchyma cells. That is why you have this hexagonal black layer, that is your sclerenchyma cells alternated with light green patches, that is your chlorenchyma cells. Sclerenchyma gives support to your plant tissues. Next is your ground tissue. The entire portion of tissues which is present next to hypodermis is your ground tissue. It is not differentiated into endodermis, pericycle, cortex and pith. The entire portion next to your hypodermis is your ground tissue. Now, in the ground tissue, you have vascular bundles. So, let's see the arrangement of vascular bundles in monocot stem. Vascular bundles are skull shaped and scattered in the ground tissue. It is smaller in size towards the periphery and bigger in size towards the center. It consists of both xylem and phloem. Now next we'll see xylem. Xylem is arranged in the form of X or Y shape. This xylem will have both metaxylem and protoxylem. Now this vascular bundle arrangement is the same as dicot stem. It's conjoint, collateral. Cambium is absent, so it is closed. So conjoint, collateral, closed and endarch. Endarch means metaxylem will be present towards the periphery and protoxylem towards the center. Now in the xylem, this lowermost protoxylem will be disintegrated and forms a cavity called protoxylem lacuna. If you refer the central vascular bundle, you have one pink cavity like layer which is mentioned as protoxylem lacuna. that is nothing but the lowermost protoxylem will be disintegrated and forms a cavity that is called protoxylem lacuna. Then phloem you have seed tube elements that and all will be absent. You have this phloem will be present next to xylem, and then pith is generally absent in monocot stem. There is no pith. So this is the transverse section of monocot stem. Now we will tabulate the differences between dicot stem and monocot stem. First one is hypodermis. Dicot stem, it is collenchymaceous. Monocot stem, it is sclerenchymaceous. Ground tissue, second ground tissue. Ground tissue in dicot stem, it is differentiated into cortex, endodermis, pericycle and pith. But in monocot stem, as we have seen, it is not differentiated. Next, vascular bundles. Dicot stem, it is less in number, but monocot stem, it is numerous. Next is dicot stem, it is uniform in size, but in monocot stem we have seen smaller near the periphery and bigger in the center. Dicot stem, the vascular bundles are arranged in the form of a ring, but monocot stem it is scattered. And then in dicot stem it is open, that is cambium would be present, so it is open, but in monocot stem it is closed. Next, bundle sheath. Bundle sheath is absent in dicot stem, but monocot stem bundle sheath is present. Here this in monocot stem, it is bundle sheath would be present. Next, secondary growth, it is present in dicot stem. Monocot stem it is absent. Pith is present in dicot stem, pith is absent in monocot stem. Medullary rays is present in dicot stem, it is absent in monocot stem. So next we are going to see dicot leaf and monocot leaf. First we'll see transverse section of dicot leaf. When you cut the leaf across and see it under the microscope, this is the section you will see. In dicot leaf, you have this top layer which is dark green in color, that is your upper epidermis. So upper epidermis is a single layer of parenchyma cells which are closely arranged, and then it consists of cuticles. Stomata will be less in number, and this hairs and all will not be present. Root hairs and all will not be present. Next you have lower epidermis. Lower epidermis is again the dark green color at the lowest part of your diagram. This lower epidermis consists of stomata and it takes part in photosynthesis. Here stomata will be present in large numbers and it takes part in photosynthesis, and epidermal hair will also be present. And then there is something, next layer is mesophyll. Mesophyll means the layer which is present between upper epidermis and lower epidermis, and it is differentiated into two types, palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma. Palisade parenchyma, you have elongated cells and it contains chloroplasts, and these are arranged without any intercellular spaces, that is your palisade parenchyma. And then next is spongy parenchyma. This is present below palisade parenchyma. The cells are normally spherical or oval shaped with lot of intercellular spaces between them, so it helps in gaseous exchange. So this is your mesophyll, and then we are going to go into vascular bundles. Here vascular bundles, it is again conjoint because xylem and phloem are present on the same radius, and collateral, and then conjoint, collateral, and then closed, there will not be any cambium present. Each vascular bundle is surrounded by a pink layer, that is called your bundle sheath. Each vascular bundle will be surrounded by a single layer of parenchyma cells, that is your bundle sheath. Here phloem will be present towards your lower epidermis and xylem will be present towards your upper epidermis. This is the structure of your dicot leaf. Next, we are going to see the structure of monocot leaf. In monocot leaf, the same. You have epidermis, upper epidermis, lower epidermis. You have both epidermis will have stomata, cuticle, and then in the upper epidermis, few cells will be enlarged and thin-walled. Those are called bulliform cells. If you see the upper epidermis, there are big cells, that is big dark green cells. Those are your bulliform cells. Then you have this mesophyll layer. Mesophyll layer is present between upper dermis and lower epidermis. Here it is not differentiated into palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma. Only cells are present and these are arranged with intercellular spaces and chloroplasts will be present. Hence it takes part in photosynthesis. Then we are going to see vascular bundles. Same vascular bundles will be like your dicot leaf, conjoined, collateral and closed. Cambium is not present. Each vascular bundle is surrounded by a single layer of parenchyma cells, that is called your bundle sheath, the dark pink layer. And then you have xylem situated towards the upper epidermis and phloem situated towards your lower epidermis. This is the structure of your monocot leaf. Now we are going to tabulate the differences between dicot leaf and monocot leaf. First point is dicot leaf is dorsiventral leaf. Monocot leaf is isobilateral leaf. Dorsiventral leaf means, if you would have seen the leaves, the top side, that is the upper side and lower side, will have different veins, if you would have noticed. So dorsiventral means upper side and lower side will have differences. But in monocot leaf, there will not be much difference. Like for example, grass is an example of monocot leaf. If you take the grass and see, the upper portion and lower portion both will be more or less similar. So that is the meaning of isobilateral leaf. There will not be any differences between upper and lower parts of the leaf. But in dorsiventral leaf, there is a difference. Then mesophyll is differentiated into palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma in dicot leaf, but in monocot leaf it is not differentiated. So this is the end of your part 2. I know this section is little large when compared to the last section, but only if I cover all these under one section, then you will have a clear idea.